Annalise here. Great to see you again. Happy New Year. I guess we're a week into the year, and I wanted to check in and see what you guys are doing with your resolutions. Are you guys keeping up with them? Have you guys fallen off with them? If you've fallen off, it's okay. Pat yourself, get back up, try again, because it's not about whether you miss a day and that turns into a failure, but it's whether you get up and keep going. You got good days and bad days, but this segment of Motivation Monday is to help you continue to move towards your goals and move forward. Every day is better than the last. Okay, today I want to talk to you about a book called We Should All Be Millionaires. It is by Rachel Rodgers. She is the founder of Hello 7, which is like a support group for aspiring women who are trying to move forward in their life, usually in the financial area. She talks a lot about money, business, how to do better in life, and how to set your goals. This book is an amazing book. It was recommended to me by a close friend, and so I want to give a shout out to Miss Stacker. Thank you so much for recommending this book, and I definitely wanted to share this with you because it spoke to me in such a personable way that I think and I feel that you would be blessed by this recommendation. So We Should All Be Millionaires. You can get it on Amazon, all major retail stores. I think it's also on Kindle Unlimited, but even if it isn't, it's still something worth buying and having on your shelves. I have the ebook copy of it, and I honestly want a hard copy so I can like take notes and keep going over it. So it usually doesn't take me a long time to get through books, but self-help books, it takes me a little bit longer because I actually want to implement the instructions that they're giving or the advice that they're giving. So like I take a little bit of time. I think this book, it took me about a week to read, and like I said, that's a little bit slow for me because I can be like whip out a book in like a day or so. It just depends on how it's going. But the self-help genre, for real, I want to take my time, digest it, write it down, make sure I've got the concepts. So let me share with you 5 of the most wonderful things that I liked in this book by Rachel Rodgers. She is amazing. So the vibe of this book is kind of like a coffee house, like going to brunch with your girls, very laid back. It's like you're having that heart-to-heart conversation with someone you're close to. She's giving you everything, all the secrets about how it is to run a business, how it is to just get up and change your focus and change your life. So I know in January, that's a time when most of us are looking to make changes in our lives. And yeah, even though it's the second week and some of us have fallen off, it's okay, because as long as you get back up again, that makes you a successful story. So let's dive in. She came from a family where they did struggle with money a lot, and a lot of us do. So it's very relatable, okay? A lot of us come from families where, money wasn't always flowing, or there were tough times, or there were times when it was just like you didn't have enough. So her story is very relatable because she talks about how it was, but she also talked about the female figures in her life that knew how to manage money, and they were no nonsense people, and she watched them and learned how to kind of pull herself up and make decisions that helped to lead her to make better financial decisions in the future. So the first thing I really love about this book is her openness and vulnerability. She is there with you. She is not ashamed to tell you where she came from. So I love how she's very open and she is very vulnerable about, her humble beginnings. But she also addresses the societal stigmas that are placed on women, or the societal roles concerning money. So a lot of times you'll hear a lot of messages toward women like, oh, you spend too much, or don't be aggressive in the workplace, going after your career, and all of that that's for the men. If you're a career woman who's very aggressive, that's kind of looked down upon and you're considered a not nice person. And so she addresses all of those stigmas. So basically society is kind of built so that way we will feel very insecure with making moves to be millionaires, but she challenges that. And so I love that. She challenges if you really want to have enough money, then don't spend that $5 on that Starbucks. I don't know if it's $8 now with inflation, but or stop spending so much money on those little frivolous things that you don't need to spend on. And while you may need to kind of cut back on some spending if you have goals that you're trying to reach, by a certain time, and you're like, I want to be here at a certain time. Maybe cutting back on some spending is the right answer, but altogether, cutting back on the things that help you to enjoy life really isn't our ultimate goal, but making more money is. So she presents that as an alternative to the let's just stop spending mantra. So the second thing that I really liked in this book is that she talked about her experience working in corporate America. So we're not going to knock 9-to-5 jobs, because those 9-to-5 jobs are stepping stones. So let's not bash our 9-to-5s. Our 9-to-5 money can be used to help us and propel us to move forward toward our ultimate career goals, our ultimate dream. So I'm not knocking the 9-to-5, and I don't think she is either, but she did make some observations about her experience in the corporate America work. She, as a woman, was always passed over for recommendations, even though she was more than qualified than the people who usually got the promotions. So once she saw herself being passed over, and several times, not just one time, understanding her value, she decided to direct her focus in a different area. So she said that, yeah, while, there are certain avenues that have been very successful for men to take, they may not necessarily be as good for us to go in that direction. So she does present the challenge of making money on your own terms, doing what you need to do in order to set yourself apart and become financially free. It's okay to think outside of the box and to move outside of the box. You do not need to follow the blueprint that has been followed for years and years and years. So number 3, I love her "you can do it, girl" attitude. Like, it's so refreshing. It's seriously like you're having coffee and you're just talking, you're just chilling. Like, her vibe is so intimate like that. She talks about how, as women, sometimes we are put in positions where we feel like we need to self-sacrifice or do everything for everybody else and then leave nothing for ourselves. So for instance, if you're that mom who's got a couple of kids and maybe a husband or somebody in your life, and you spend all your time catering to them, fixing their food, picking them up from this sport or school or this event, making sure your mate is well taken care of. And not to say those things are not important, but sometimes we don't have the proper balance in our life. And so she definitely talks about making sure that you can allocate your time, your resources, the things that you have in your life, and to spread the responsibility among the family, so that way you're not doing everything. So for instance, if your kids are of age, we can have a night. It's, Susie's turn to cook spaghetti, and it's, Paco's turn to to make the rice. Something that helps out. Like, you shouldn't be the only one doing the housework. You shouldn't be the only one, doing things. Now, everybody's family is different. You have to take what she recommended and see what works for you. But ultimately, she talks about allocating your responsibilities and being okay with not doing everything. Some of that goes into setting boundaries for yourself. So if you know that you're a morning person and you need your personal time to get your mind right and everything, maybe that's not a good time to answer phone calls from this person or that person, or maybe it's not the right time to let someone in on that me time. Maybe you need to really make that boundary and say, okay, from 6 to 7, this is my time for quiet, this is my time for me, and not allow people to interrupt. She also talked about hiring people to help you with the responsibilities that you have. So for instance, if you know that cleaning the house takes up 80% of your free time, which could be better spent with you thinking of ways to make $1, $1, or 10 million bucks, then it is probably more resourceful for you in the long run to hire someone to help you out with that housework, or hire someone to help you with dinner, or say, we're going to pick up food from this restaurant on these nights, so that way you can free up some time to make sure that you can move yourself forward, to work on yourself. Number 4, who you surround yourself with is eventually who you will become. There is a really famous quote that I read a while ago, and I don't remember exactly how it went, but the gist of it was if there's a room and there's 5 people in the room and they're stupid, you're going to be the 6th stupid person. If there's 5 people in the room and they're millionaires, you're going to be the 6th millionaire. So ultimately, the habits of the people that you spend time with is eventually going to rub off on you. So you definitely want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who have the same goals that you do, and just take a moment to, look around. Who are your friends? Who's your family? Now, you can't get rid of family, And you gotta love people, but also set boundaries, and then surround yourselves with people, mentors, groups on social media who are going in the same direction that you want to go. I love that point that she brought up, and she had several amazing examples and research that helped to support that. So that's another thing that stood out to me. For the fifth, and probably one of the most important things that stood out to me from this book, was how Rachel addressed our mindset as we are moving toward becoming millionaires. So in every book that I have read, that has been about self-improvement or doing well in business or making yourself, into a better person, it has always started with where your mind is. So basically, whatever you think is whatever you will become. If you believe that you can change, if you believe and if you see and imagine, envision yourself in a certain area, then most likely you have a better chance of achieving your goals than if you look at let's say goal. If you look at a goal and don't really believe, and you're like, I don't know, this may not be for me, but I'll try it, but I don't really think it's gonna work. So she does spend a lot of time talking about mindset. She talks about thinking that's toxic, and then how to correct that toxic thinking and bringing positive thinking in. Now, that's not to say that all you have to do is think positively and all your dreams will come true, because that isn't accurate. You definitely have to work, you definitely have to strategize, but I honestly think that mindset plays such a huge role in how we live our day-to-day lives and how we move from point A to point B, that we cannot stress it enough. So those are the 5 major things that I really loved about this book. Once again, it's We Should Be Millionaires. We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rodgers. And I really think you should check it out. I think you'll be inspired. I think that you'll be blessed. So check it out. Also, if you really enjoyed this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. Every Monday we're going to be doing something to kind of motivate us to keep going with our goals, to keep striving, and even if we kind of get off track, it's okay. As long as we get back up, we will be great. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.